Hello and welcome to Sit with Hitlist, our award-winning, absolutely unscripted podcast cum print series. This is a show that we do out of the midday office in Bandra East. This is the first time we moved out of that studio because when the Nawab summons, you show up.
I thought you were going to say this is an award-winning actor. I was like, thank you. This is an award-winning show. I was like, sorry, okay, fair enough. Okay, which is really almost I was going to say gali in today's political climate, isn't it? Well, my father, was living with my mother in her flat, and we were working for this agency, and I think one of the jobs we had was making religious calendars for the Birlas. So the only creative thing was, should we put Lord Vishnu in October or let's put him in November. So I kind of lost interest with that quite soon. Yeah, but rented a place in Lokhandwala called Red Rose, one building, a small flat, and we had cane furniture, and the producer's daughter very kindly did up the place for me until one night when I came back from dinner, let's say, with friends, and I couldn't open the bedroom door because she had locked it, and she had gone to sleep on the bed. I think she had a plan. And I was peeping, there was a big gap between the door and the carpet. So I was peeping under there, I could see her, and she was a large lady, so it was like a whale on my bed. And I thought, I'm not going in there. So we went out again.
Why would she do that? She wanted you out.
Huh?
She wanted you out or she wanted you in?
She was my interior designer.
Right.
She was doing the furniture.
Right.
And she locked the bedroom door and she went to sleep, thinking I'll have to knock, and I don't know what the plan was. Maybe, I don't know what it was. She should have left it open at least, I would have thought. I don't know. I suddenly thought the idea is so exciting of moving to Bombay. I remember having that shower in Delhi, and we had an old house with like funny water, and I don't know, didn't work half the time. You had to fiddle with it forever to get it right. They get too cold and then too hot.
We're digressing.
Sorry. All right. You said make it anecdotal. Yeah. Okay, but not to this point. Chipkali is on the ceiling.
Yeah. And then I called PWD.
Yeah, and then I said, okay, stop. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Right. I found them very over-emotional when I was young, also because my mother was an actor. And then when I'd see her crying on screen, it's not something I enjoyed. So I'd say, I don't want to watch this. So, and Hindi films at that point in the 70s and it were overly emotional. There's always, a mother crying there. So I thought, I don't want to watch this.
Right. So then you moved to Bombay because Anand Mahindru comes up and
offers me this movie, and then comes to the Ghungru, and I tell all my friends, I said, hey guys, this is a director and I'm going to Bombay. Right. And he had a couple of vodkas, I shouldn't say it, and he threw up.
Why did he throw up?
I don't know why he threw up. So these same guys came and said, bro, your director friend's in the bathroom. He's not feeling so good. I was like, no. And then, so I should have realized we were in a bit of trouble. But we came to Bombay, and Sati Shori was the producer. And then somebody told me a story about her, that she had run out of money while making Farishte with Vinod Khanna. And there was this ambitious large film. These panthers were chasing him in the shot, and then they ran out of money or something. And when he comes around the corner, they said, no panthers because we need money. So she said something, she said, okay, get some dogs and paint them black. So these panthers become... So that was my
No, this is apocryphal, you said.
No, it's apparently it's there. If you see Farishte is made, it's out there.
Sure. So there is a panther is actually a dog.
No, the panther becomes the dog. It starts off,
Okay, it becomes a dog.
Yeah, because so this was
that's the story about your first producer.
Yes. And then there were other things as well where she used to pay me 1,000 rupees a week, and I'd have to kiss her 10 times on the cheek.
Okay.
LA, Dilip Singh Rathore and I used to do acting class together.
Okay.
And we were sitting in an acting class with this guy, and he said, why don't you take off your shirts? So we looked at each other and we said, no man, we're not really comfortable with that, dude. And then another guy came in, and this guy told him, he said, do some push-ups. So he started doing push-ups, and we were saying, what's going on? And then he said, you take off your shirt. So he took off his shirt, and the guy's going, nice. And I thought, it was at that time that Parampara happened, and Yash Chopra ji called and said, I'm looking for a fourth lead or something, because I was like, great, yeah, anything. So I did it. People think you're privileged and talk about nepotism, and I don't know how I got stuck into that because
The Dil Chahta Hai was a turning point in terms of the style of acting, the kind of cinema,
the way it's written, and also behind the scenes and the kind of clothes we were wearing and the kind of haircuts we had.
The fact that you had a haircut, like, was a big deal, right?
And with gel, and all that, which people said, that's really dangerous. You're going to look like a, some dude from Bandra, looking like a, hero.
Like the audience.
Yeah, looking like what you should look like.
Right. Was that a big deal? Because I remember seeing a behind the scenes video of Dil Chahta Hai, where you guys are getting a haircut, and everyone's really scared because a movie star is known by the haircut. I mean, this is a Sanjay Dutt haircut, this is a Shah Rukh Khan haircut, I'm presuming this is a Saif Ali Khan haircut.
Yes.
The fact that you're getting a haircut is a very big deal in 2001.
But also, what happened was, I remember talking to somebody about this. Abbas-Mastan actually said, you should get I just had a hit film and had really long hair, Ye Dil Lagi. He said, what you should do is get a haircut. And I thought, that doesn't make any sense. Right. And of course, I mean, it was good advice, but also it's very superstitious culture at that point, or we probably still are, where people said if something is working, don't change anything, don't change anything.
Not even the role.
Not even the movie. Just keep doing it. But I remember Amir having a chat with me, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do the film because I said, again, this is some third lead, and I'm playing hero, and he said, which film are you playing hero in? I said, this one and that one. He's like, okay, this film is about 3 times the size of all of those put together. Okay, can you get on the page because this is good cinema? You have to do it, he said. So I said, okay. Everyone on set, including Amir, said, why don't you play it a different way, and you should. And I used to get confused. I came home and I spoke to my ex-wife about it, and she said, why are you asking other actors how to play your role? Because obviously they'll tell you, and they'll tell you what you're doing is wrong. And I was there in Ye Dil Lagi also. I used to make up some funny lines. 1 or 2.
Like what?
I can't remember. There was some silly scenes, and I said, can I just say this? And the director would say, okay. And then I'd watch it in the theatre, and people would laugh. And I thought, okay, I'm onto something. So, yeah, whatever. So I'm like, okay, you might be like the biggest star, but I'm going to give you a run for your money. So there's been a competitive kind of streak, which at some points...
But that's only on the set, right? Or does it even come to the edit table?
I've never been in that position to kind of fiddle on the edit table, except once I cut Kunal Khemu's scene.
Because you can say it, no?
He got really upset as well.
Where was
and
this?
I totally understand. And then recently a scene of mine got cut, and I was like, what's happening? In Go Goa Gone, it was really long in the second half.
Right.
And I thought, God, this is second half's a bit of a worry. And being the producer, I said, you want to cut something here, let's speed this up. And he called me and he said, how can you do this? And I said, oh, come on, it's for the good of the movie. I feel really bad. Sorry, Kunal. I shouldn't have done it. I can't tell if I'm lying or not in Hindi as much as I can in English. Because in English, suddenly if I say, hey, Mayank, what are you doing? I'll be like, what? Wait, no, it didn't sound right. Because I'm so used to speak. I've said I love you in Hindi to real women. So I know on screen if I say, I love you, I'm sounding like an idiot. Whereas in Hindi, I've never said, "Main tumse pyar karta hu," Roma, to anybody, True. Least of all Roma, whoever that is. But whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what do you think of Roma?
It's like a dialogue,
just
like a film.
The character, yeah.
And American is the language of, or English. English. What? Or like,
what they do in
holy man, that's the way to speak English. You can't say, being Cyrus type and homie, you should sound a little Indian. Say, but dad, can I have I was like, it's going to sound really bad in English.
Being at your home, I think your kid was hanging around, and you guys were having a conversation, and suddenly you turned around and said, like you just use that in a real home conversation with your child there.
Yeah.
And that's when he felt like you've got it, like getting Langda Tyagi in terms of the dialect.
But it is that. Also every script, is quotable to. If you know it backwards, you can apply one line to any aspect of your life. That's really step one in acting, is learning the lines. Everyone says, yeah, sure, obviously, but really learning them and knowing them, and then you can start doing things like how to say them. But but first learn them. I'm not actually English, you know.
Sure.
So I've grown up in Haryana and Pataudi.
Correct, Pataudi would be.
Yeah, so I've heard it all my life. Right. Oh, yeah, Tile se baya mod lo. I was like, Tila kya? Peed se mod lo. I was like, what's a peed? Was initially what was happening. But I've always heard it. I only stepped into cocktail because nobody wanted to do it. I think Ranbir didn't want to do it. Imran Khan didn't want to do it. So I said, okay, I'll do it. They should remember. Where on day one, I had to investigate something in the room. And we only had about 2 shots. And I said, you know, we get this done. I don't know, we're in Mud Island. It's always painful for me to go to, distance-wise. So he said, so on the thing, and I had the gloves on, I was investigating the scene, and I was doing it. And he said, it's a cut. And then he said, you know, first of all, bring your energy level like really, you're too hyper.
Right.
He said, just calm down, and we're going to be here all night. I said, got 2 shots. No, we're going to be here all night. I don't know, you know, just switch off and just be there. And this guy's like depressed, you know, so come on. It's really interesting that a Muslim guy plays a Sardar in kind of like this kind of world, and that's really a good contribution.
It's called India, you know.
Like, that's the country, dude. Exactly.
If it was a pure print interview, we would have stopped at, I did not like Sacred Games 2.
Yeah.
You know? Second by
yeah. But I didn't. I was watching it. We were in London, in England. It was my birthday, and we had rented a country cottage, and there were 5 of us there. And I have a really good friend of mine who's a book publisher, and he's South American, and he loves he speaks a bit of Hindi as well. He loves different cultures. So we opened a bottle of champagne. We got Netflix on. And we had a glass each, and we
That was the premiere.
Yeah, and that was the premiere. Just him and me. The other people were outside in the garden. I didn't even tell Karina this is what's happening. And we sat to watch it. And after a while, I said, okay, look, I'll watch this on my own later, you know, and that didn't happen with season 1. Yep. My mom's favorite, I mean, one of the best looking guys in the world. They took him to Hollywood to become the next James Dean, and he said, I just cannot be bothered to learn English. Only the French do that. He said, I can't, it's too difficult. And he came back. Sriram and I have gone berserk a couple of times. We start off fine and then go berserk, and then he, you know, does andhadhun.
And that's when he doesn't call you.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. Thanks, bro. So there was that. It did go berserk, and they didn't know how to end it. Well, Abbas-Mastan, it took me a while to figure out who's doing the talking, because Mastan Bhai and I got along, because the first thing he shot with me, I remember when he said, camera aise aayega aur paise ka close up leke na phir hero pe aane ka aisa. So I thought, yo, paisa ka close up and all this is going to be fab, this movie. And Abbas Bhai kept saying kamal hai to everything. You know, everything. Kaise kamal hai. And then Bipasha came to set. He said, Bipasha, dress kamal hai, kamal dress. And I realized this is all he's going to say. You know, so that's all I got from him. But they'd start shooting at about 10 in the morning, easy peasy. About 5, 6 in the evening, they say, I think we're done. And I'd be like, I love you guys. This is just the easiest shoot
because
ever.
They hate shooting at nights, apparently.
Yeah.
They just won't.
They said, can't do it.
Right.
You know, and then Akshay Khanna told me, he said, you're behaving like a star with them. I said, what do you mean? I'm not behaving like a star. He said, no, you're not hugging them enough. So I said, what do you mean, yeah? So he said, you go and see them and hang out and give them more love, you know, I'm telling you. So I said, okay. And I went tooling off to their room in the hotel Hilton in South Africa. And I saw this thing where there was this white sheet on the floor of the hotel room, and they were sitting on it, and they had their whiskey and their peanuts, and they were all sitting there, and they said, you know, come and join us. So I sat there for a bit, and then I said, you know, and we had a chat, and they said, listen, you don't have to sit with us, you don't have to hug us, you don't have to do anything, just turn up and do your bit. You know, we don't expect anything from you, and that was a great relief. And Surajji, I remember Salman saying when he's doing his makeup, because we were all like, this is the biggest film in India when we did Hum Saath Saath Hain, after Hum Aapke Hain, Kaun Maine Pyar Kiya. Everyone's like, I remember the amount of people that came to see him on the set and touched his feet, you know, everyone from the top heroine to struggling actresses. They all trooped in, Surajji, you know, and with their most charming and I thought, man, I want to be like,
just to say hi, like
just to say hi and any chance of the next movie,
sure.
And you know, hello,
Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, right?
And all hitting it like in the most charming way. Right. I remember Rekha ji coming to see him.
Oh, wow.
Like how senior, you know. I remember Salman saying, Suraj, you think you're going to give a hat trick this time? It's quite rare. And I thought, God, who talks to him like that? You know, I mean, and all of us were like revering him. And here this comment came, I remember.
You play in Hum Saath Saath Hain. What character was
Yeah, that was
Would
kind
that
of,
be?
there's a Krishna.
That was you, Krishna.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, it was a Krishna. It was a little naughty version. Salman
Right.
was the Ram character. So not something that I found it exhausting. I found Hum Saath Saath Hain possibly, apart from Lal Kaptan, one of the most tiring things, to be so happy and positive all the time. I mean, nearly killed me. It really did. I'm just not like that at all. So I said, oh God. And Surajji used to say constantly, he'd say, do it your way, but smile.
Saif Ali Khan, thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah.
This was great fun. Thank you.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.